Hello and welcome to episode number 14 of my Bari career mode as we continue into the end of our first season. Sitting in 8th place right now, we can jump Pescara for 7th if we come away with a victory in this game. This is the last game of the season. As you see, we are sitting 8th. 64 points, Pescara has 66. We can't climb and reach Siena. We could also fall out of 8th place to Cesena, but it really doesn't matter. We had to finish 9th or higher to complete our league objective. So that's that, but we don't have an easy game on our hands. We do go into this game, and we'll be playing against Brescia, but a quick squad report since I haven't done this one in a while. Just kind of going through all the players here. Of course, Diego Polenta, 70 overall. He's been really good for us this year. Probably easily our best defensive player. Just because he's big, he's strong, wins tackles, he's been so crucial. He's also tall, can get to the headers. But yeah, going in and seeing some of our other players here. As you saw, one of our youth players, Andrea Martinelli. He wanted to come up into the team pretty quick, which I wanted to let him grow, because if you let your players grow until May in the Youth Academy, I believe that's when they improve by quite a bit. So, getting to the end, Anthony Partapio, another player. Quite a few of these players did end up going out in the summer transfer window. I will say that now, which I will be showing in this episode. We are going to be trying to trim a lot of the roster. A lot of our squad, a lot of our players are going to be going out because, let's be honest, we don't really need them. We normally use the same players. But anyway, yeah, trying to really trim the roster for the second season. That way we don't have a whole bunch of dead weight, a whole bunch of people lowering our weight, weighing our wage budget down. But there is our 4-3-3, the starting lineup for this final league game of the year. We're hosting Brescia. Valencia playing up front, Galano and Fedato on the wings. Both of them have been pretty darn good for us. And a guy who's been pretty darn good for them is Udamati for Brescia. I'm pretty sure he plays as the left winger for them. I'm not sure in real life if he's on loan to Brescia or if he is property of Brescia, but I know he's been property of AC Milan for a long time. Really quick, speedy player from Nigeria there. Nana Welbeck, I remember, was really good on FIFA 13. He plays for Brescia. But yeah, a lot of good players on this team. They were battling for promotion, and I believe they locked it up regardless heading into this match, so it really didn't matter what they did. 56th minute here. And a couple passes here, kind of fizzles out, but eventually Valencia will get possession back here. Valencia going to try and cut it back in the middle. He'll play to Fedato, who has some space, and Fedato will finish that one, and we'll get a nice 1-0 lead at the just before the hour mark there. So it looked like the passing build-up was pretty nice until the end, and then Valencia won it back. And we got the goal. Scaudoni on the ball here, 90th minute, just trying to wait for the referee's whistle, and there it is, and we end the season on a high note. We defeat Brescia 1-0 at home. At home, we kind of struggled at home, not really sure why. I don't know what it was. We did better away from home than we did at home for whatever reason. But yeah, we end up 7th in the league. Going through this scouting report here, we only had one scout for the first season, which is kind of a bummer because I like to utilize the youth scouting system to bring young players in and let them grow. You bring them in really cheap, and you can sell them on for a massive profit, or you can just keep them in your squad. So that's definitely something I always love to utilize in career mode, it's kind of half the fun for me. I know a lot of YouTubers, it seems like they don't really use it. They don't really understand it that much for whatever reason. It's not a hard thing to grasp, but it seems like a lot of YouTubers don't really like to use it. They just like to build their team up, buy players, bring them in, and do it that way. But, different strokes for different folks, I guess. Whatever. if that's what you want to do, then that's the beauty of it. You can do it however you want to do it. If you want to bring in all these young players, or if you want to just go out and buy previously, players that have been brought up through a club already, that's the beauty in career mode, and that's why it's kind of cool seeing different people on YouTube doing it different ways. Kind of scouting some players in other leagues, I wanted to bring in another center back for the next season, considering that Polenta was going to be he's going to be going back to Genoa, unfortunately. And I'm kind of just going through the squad here. I don't know why I do this. I don't think I'm the only one that does this either, where I kind of go through my team and organize the forwards and the wingers with the midfielders and the defenders. I don't know why I do that, but kind of a look at some of our players that we just brought in. Consigli was one of the new players that we brought in from the youth academy. Amabile, I believe is how you would pronounce that. He looks like he'll be a decent attacking midfielder. He's 60 overall, and he's only 16, so he'll definitely be playing a little bit. Excuse me there, but there is the final table. Palermo runs away with the league, even though we defeated them at one point in the year. 56 goal differential. That's crazy. They only allowed 26 goals in 42 matches. La Spezia and Brescia were the other two teams getting promoted into Serie A. And we finished 7th, which is pretty good. The board was happy, considering we finished 7th and got to the knockout round of the Coppa Italia, which was a lot of fun, going up against the likes of, we played Sassuolo in the first round. I think we beat them 2-0. They're not really a great Serie A side, and I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they were one of the teams in this career mode getting relegated to Serie B. And then we played Atalanta, who I believe are like, I know in real life they're like a mid-table kind of team. They do have some good players. Consigli, Denis. Good players like that, and we beat them 1-0. So they dominated that game, but we got out of there with a victory, which was pretty good. Just all around a really good first season, considering what we had at our disposal. So going into the second season, we're probably going to have to try and bring in a center back or two, considering Polenta's gone. And I did want to get rid of Guarna. Maybe not get rid of Guarna, but I really would like to get a better goalkeeper, because Guarna is just so bad. And Pena, he had that game against Atalanta where he was just standing on his head the whole time and stopping everything. I couldn't believe some of the stuff he was doing for a 60 rated goalkeeper. But yeah, we did have him. I think a goalkeeper is something we need to address at some point. So there's a season budget. We only get 2 million euros and 10 grand a week for our wage budget. And right away I went out and picked up Hwang Suk-ho. 3-year contract, 3,000 a week. I believe he signed for that the first time we made an offer to him. He's 6 feet tall, medium-high work rates. Not that that really matters on career mode, but he does look like he'll be decent. He is very quick, and I also went after this guy on a loan deal, Everton do Nascimento, a Brazilian 16-year-old center back from Montpellier. Unfortunately, he was like a 52 overall when I got him, just because I looked at his physical stats, and he was decently quick, and I thought that maybe that would be good for me. I don't know. But unfortunately, I was wrong. That was kind of poor judgment on my part. I don't know, but he's already growing pretty quickly. We would also go after Jordan Riley, an English center mid, and we would bring him in on loan from Liverpool. I'm not sure whose regen he is. I thought maybe it was Gerrard's. I actually looked to see if Gerrard had retired, but Gerrard was still there. So I'm not totally sure whose regen that is, but Jordan Riley. We brought him in on loan. And then we also went after this guy, Olivier Kemen from Newcastle. Going for quite a bit, and I really wanted to make a move for this guy because he looked at it like a good player. So originally I was going to offer not $1 million, but €1 million. And instead, we decided not to do that. And then I decided to utilize the swap deal. We put Marotta in there. I wanted to get rid of Marotta anyway because we have Uchebo coming in on the pre-contract agreement. and that's what we decided to do. So Clement Asuman, we also brought him in as a free agent. He's like a low 60s rated striker, someone who might develop into a better striker in the future. And eventually we would have to mess with our budget so that way we could bring in Jordan Riley on loan. And then Newcastle, much to my surprise, accepted the offer for Kemen, 400,000 euros, and Morata, even though Morata will probably never play for Newcastle considering he's 65 rated and in his late 20s. But we decided to, we were definitely going to take that. We decided, like I said, to get rid of some players, and eventually Kemen accepted a contract of 9,000 a week. So we would swing some nice business there. Probably not the most realistic transfer in the world, but that's alright, because I really wanted a good box-to-box midfielder, someone to replace Hosati, who of course went back on loan to AC Milan. So yeah, good bit of business there. That worked out really well for us. So Emre Kivrak was one of our new youth scouts. We brought him in and sent him to his native Turkey to scout for us at Ignacio Guardado. Sent him to Spain looking for a playmaker, or technically gifted player was what we were looking for. You know, there's so many good technical players that come out of Spain. And then our Italian scout will be sent to Italy. More players leaving the club here, just players that I really didn't need. You know, Partapio, 59 overall, right mid. We don't really play with a right mid. But anyway, that will be the end of this episode, and the next episode will include, look who we drew in the second round of the Coppa Italia, Atalanta. So they'll be trying to get revenge on us, but if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a good day.